Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Asylum and today I will be telling you all that I read in 2024. The 3rd of January. So I'm going to go through all of my books that I read in 2024 and then I will give you guys my TBR for January. So the first book, which all of this will be in the order that I read it in. So first book I read in 2024 was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This was a reread. And I do still completely and utterly love this book. It's just one of my favorite books and I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out next month. The next book I read was my first dark romance, which was Haunting Adeline. Love it. It's one of my favorite books, honestly. Next is probably my top book I read in 2024, which is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I love this book so much. This was, like I said, my top book in 2024. It was amazing. Everybody needs to read it. The next book that I read was Dracula. This copy specifically while I was like 6 months pregnant. No, not 6 months. 8 months pregnant. While I was 8 months pregnant was hard to read with this copy. And I will show you guys a sneak peek of what I'm reading right now. So it's literally so much bigger than this one. But I did read Dracula. I'm hoping that I enjoyed a lot more now that I have a better copy of it. But I still did love it. I'm rereading it so I can love it more. Next I read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This was so sad. It was so good, but it was so sad. I loved it, but it was so sad. And I actually finished this in quite quickly because it's just, the print size is fine. Like, yeah, it was so sad. It was so sad. The next book I read after that was Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. It was so good. Okay, it was so good. I love this book so much. Next, I read Haunting Adeline, which is the second book to Haunting Adeline, and I absolutely loved it as well. It's just really hard to read, so definitely look up content warnings for Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. But I did read that. This is probably my top 2 book, which is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I finally read it. I tabbed it. It's amazing. I loved it. It's my top 2 book. It is just so good. And then I did actually read From Blood and Ash, which I actually quite enjoyed it. I do need to read the second book. I have started the second book. I just haven't finished the second book. I started the second book in December and I just haven't finished it yet. But I did quite enjoy it, which was surprising to me. So this one was a surprise. This one is probably my top 4th book I read this year, which is Fourth Wing, because I am such a dragon girly and this book was fantastic. I love Violet and I love Xaden, and it was fantastic. And I cannot wait to read the second book soon. The other book that I read this year was Map of the Otherlands, which is the second Emily Wilde's book that came out last year. And it was so good, and I still cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out. Next, I did read Crooked Kingdom as well. This one I read in October, I believe. Yeah, I think I read this in October. And it was so good. It made me cry at the end. I didn't expect it to make me cry, and it made me cry at the end. Speaking of another book that made me cry, True Believer by Jack Carr. This is the second book in the Jack Carr series. I cannot talk much about this one because it will do spoilers for the first book, but this one did make me cry. It was, yeah. Another book that I highly enjoyed was Where's Molly, which do look up content warnings for this one as well, but you read this one after Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I enjoyed it so much. It was so good. Then I read The Phantom of the Opera. Sorry, my kiddo's right there. It was so good. I also really enjoyed this book. This is probably my top 5th book of the year. It was just so good. Now for my top 3rd book of the year, which is Legends and Lattes. I love this book. I tabbed the hell out of this book. It was so good. I'm sorry about the noise. My kiddo's playing with a cookie bag. The last book that I read and finished in 2024 was A Touch of Darkness. I read this on my Kindle, on my phone though, on the Kindle app. And I did really enjoy it. There's just a few things I didn't like about it, but that's fine. If you guys want an in-depth book review with spoilers, let me know down below. But that's all that I read in 2024. I did read a manga. It's in the other room though. Should have grabbed it. But I did read one manga as well. It was like The Forbidden Sky or something like that. But I did really enjoy that manga as well. But all in all, including the manga, I read 18 books this year, which was 2 off of my reading goal for 2024. Because I gave myself a reading goal halfway through the year. And I think I did pretty good, almost finishing it. So, yeah. Next is my January TBR. So, like I already said, I am currently reading Dracula. I literally just finished it. I'm on chapter 3. Or just started it, not just finished it. Literally just started it. I am on chapter 3. And yeah, I am enjoying it so much so far. And I think it was just a really bad time for me to read it last year, honestly. But that's okay. I still read it last year and I'm still happy about it because I still did enjoy it when I did read it. It was just, like I said, awkward for me to read it. Next book I have on my TBR is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I cannot wait to read this because the movies are my favorite thing. Literally, when it comes to talking about my personality, I'm sorry about that. Like I was saying, Lord of the Rings is just my personality, honestly. I even have all of these mini pop dolls right on my desk right here, which I will show you in just a moment. And I literally have all of the actual pop dolls and I'm just a Lord of the Rings girly. So I do really want to read and finish the series this year because I read The Hobbit last year. So this is on my January TBR. Another book that is probably going to be a favorite is Final Offer. I read the fine print and terms and conditions in 2023. I read them in 2023. I just haven't read the 3rd book yet, and I hope to do that this month, hopefully. Another book that I would love to read since I've been in such a classics mood is Sense and Sensibility. This is my favorite Jane Austen movie. Don't get me wrong, I love Pride and Prejudice. But I love Sense and Sensibility, and I really, really, really want to read it. So, that's all my TBR for this month. The next 3 books that I'm going to read this month is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the beautiful Gryffindor editions that my husband got me for Christmas. And it's just, I cannot wait to read it. I've read books 1 through 4. I started 5, I never finished it, so me and my mom's starting with 3, and we're gonna read the rest of them together. So I can't wait to start reading those again. next book I have on my TBR, because I got this for Christmas as well for my father and mother-in-law, which is Savage Son by Jack Carr. This is the third book in the Jack Carr series. Gotta make sure my kid's not messing with my books. Okay, I cannot wait to read this. I did already start it, and I hope to finish it this month. And this book, so there's a thing that I'm going to start doing in 2024. I have a shelf on my bookshelf that has a bunch of books that are just random books that I've gotten that I'm going to read and then decide from there if I'm going to keep or get rid of it. This is one of those books. This is The Forest of Hands and Teeth. I got this for free for doing a reading challenge at my library when I was little. Well, littler, when I was a teenager. So I'm also going to be reading this book this month. And that being said, that is the end of this video. If you want me to go more in depth about these books, please leave a comment down below. I would love to. And please leave a like and maybe a subscribe if you want to. If not, it's all good. Without further ado though, thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to start posting more. It's been a crazy last month. That's how come I haven't been posting very much. But I hope to get back into it soon. I am about to go on to a trip though, so I probably won't start posting more often until after January 20th. So yeah, but I'm glad I could at least post this video, and I cannot wait to start this year with you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.